Before we start, viewer discretion is advised. This story is for education and entertainment only. What follows is the word-for-word courtroom testimony from Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial. According to Inner City Press, day 4 of the trial was already heating up. Cassie Ventura was back on the witness stand. The courtroom was full of reporters, legal experts, and curious people. No one expected what came next. As the defense grilled Cassie about her past, asking private questions about her relationships, one name slipped out and shocked the whole room. Michael B. Jordan. Cassie confirmed they had a relationship while she was still emotionally tied to Diddy. What happened after that turned the whole trial upside down. During a tense break, Cassie, clearly upset, pulled out her phone and FaceTimed Michael B. Jordan from the stand. The courtroom exploded. Diddy's lawyers jumped up. The judge rushed in, and the moment quickly became a public scandal. But what happened behind the scenes and what it revealed about the emotional mess between Cassie, Diddy, and Michael was even worse. Late that morning, the cross-examination suddenly took a sharp turn. Until then, the defense was trying to discredit Cassie by digging through her old private messages. Old texts showed up on the screens, some flirtatious, some graphic, and many written while she was with Diddy. Then the defense asked, "During your relationship with Mr. Combs, were you involved with anyone else romantically besides Kid Cudi?" Cassie paused. She glanced at the prosecutors, then looked down. "Yes," she said. "Michael B. Jordan." The room froze. Reporters stopped writing. The defense attorney jumped in. "When exactly did this happen?" Cassie explained that while filming Honey 3 in South Africa, she and Diddy were growing distant. She felt alone and frustrated, and she started talking to Michael more often. Diddy found out. The defense hinted that it wasn't just emotional, it got physical. Cassie didn't deny it, but said it wasn't cheating. It was survival. "I needed someone to remind me I wasn't property," she said. Diddy's face didn't change, but his lawyers scribbled like mad. That moment changed everything. The defense now argued that Cassie wasn't just a victim. She had choices. She kept secrets. It showed the case was emotionally more complex. The woman on the stand wasn't just someone hurt by abuse. She had found comfort elsewhere, maybe while still stuck in a toxic relationship. Court took a short break. The judge stepped out. Lawyers gathered their notes. Cassie stayed in her seat, rubbing her forehead. A bailiff stood nearby, watching the room. Then it happened, quietly. Cassie pulled out her phone, turned the screen away from the gallery, and tapped a contact. The screen lit up. The FaceTime tone rang out in the quiet room. Everyone turned. A reporter whispered, "Is she calling someone?" It was too late to stop it. The screen blinked, and Michael B. Jordan's face appeared clearly on speaker. Cassie's voice shook. "They read everything," she whispered. "I didn't know what else to do." Michael looked shocked but calm. "Cass," he said, "this isn't the time. You don't owe me anything. Just stay strong." Diddy turned and stared straight at the phone. The moment he saw the screen, his cold look broke. His lawyers jumped up. "Your Honor," one yelled, even though the judge wasn't there yet. "We object. This breaks courtroom rules." The room erupted. Reporters stood. The bailiff ran over. Seconds later, the judge came back in. "Turn that phone off, now," he ordered. Cassie obeyed quickly, tears in her eyes. The phone was taken away. The judge gave a serious warning. "This is a courtroom, not a theater. Any more of this will be punished." But the damage was done. Whispers spread fast. Who called whom? What was said? How would it change the trial? Outside, someone leaked the story. A reporter tweeted, "Breaking, Cassie FaceTimes Michael B. Jordan during court recess." You heard that right. In minutes, TMZ had the clip. The hashtag #Cassie call went viral worldwide. Back inside, everyone stared at Diddy. He sat stiffly, fists clenched. For the first time in the trial, the man who once seemed unbreakable looked shaken. His lawyers panicked. One leaned in to speak, but Diddy waved him off. He kept staring at Cassie. He didn't look angry. He looked betrayed. The prosecution tried to bring the jury's focus back, but Diddy was falling apart. When a 2009 message was read aloud, where Cassie wrote, "I'm always ready to freak off," Diddy slammed his hand on the table. People gasped. The judge gave him a stern look. "Mr. Combs, control yourself." Diddy nodded, breathing hard, but it was clear he was losing control. What upset him wasn't just the text, it was the FaceTime call. The idea that during their deepest moments, Cassie had someone else, and she turned to that man during this trial. And that man's face had just shown up in a courtroom where Diddy was fighting for his name and freedom. By the end of the session, Diddy slumped in his chair. Reporters noticed. He didn't leave like a confident mogul. He looked like someone who lost control of the story. The prosecution said nothing. They didn't need to. Cassie's emotional moment had already changed the trial. Diddy didn't just face legal trouble. He lost the powerful image he had spent years building. Now, the world had seen him crack. By lunchtime, the public already knew. Paparazzi outside heard the buzz. Someone in the gallery leaked details that gave TMZ what they needed. Cassie FaceTimes Michael B. Jordan in court hit headlines like a bomb. Big news sites, CNN, Rolling Stone, Page 6, rushed to cover it. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram exploded with posts, reactions, and even wild theories about every second of the leaked video. Outside the courthouse, it got wild fast. Protesters showed up, cheering for Cassie's courage. A few hours later, Diddy fans arrived, yelling about trial by media and saying Cassie was playing the system. It wasn't just a court case anymore. It was a show. And that FaceTime call became the center of the first act. Reporters asked, did Cassie just ruin her credibility? Or did she win the room over with real emotion? Everyone wanted answers. Was Michael B. Jordan subpoenaed? Would he testify? Was the call planned? Online, a new argument started. Some said Cassie was brave, reaching for someone who gave her comfort in dark times. Others said she used fame to twist the moment. You can't say you're abused, then FaceTime a movie star mid-trial, one person posted on X. This isn't Netflix. Despite all the noise, one thing was clear. The prosecution had lost control of their star witness, and the defense planned to use it. Cassie's FaceTime wasn't just a slip. It became a legal moment. Every juror, every viewer, every person watching now remembered it. Inside the courtroom, both sides felt the pressure. Behind the scenes, the prosecution debated how to handle it. Should they address FaceTime directly or just move on quietly? They chose the second option, but still asked the judge for a sidebar. "Your Honor," the lead prosecutor said, "we ask that the jury be told to ignore the communication during the break." The judge agreed, warned the jury, and moved forward. But the tension stayed. Diddy's lawyers saw what this was, a major opening. Later that day, one of them spoke to the press. "When a witness calls a romantic partner during a federal trial in open court," he said, "it tells you a lot about their emotional state and motive." It was clear what he meant. Cassie wasn't a scared victim. She was, in their words, a willing player rewriting the story. Inside the defense's office, they were already making their next move. Their whole plan now centered on that call. Proof, they said, that Cassie was acting, not suffering. Meanwhile, the prosecutors were stuck. If they criticized Cassie, they'd hurt their own case. But if they ignored what happened, the defense would twist it all. Privately, insiders admitted they didn't expect it. "We prepped her for everything," one said. "We didn't think she'd break like that." As court resumed after lunch, the jury came back in. Same people, but they saw things differently now. They weren't just hearing Cassie's claims about Diddy anymore. They were thinking about her reasons, her control, her link to a famous man like Michael B. Jordan. Two women on the jury looked at Cassie with what reporters called a mix of pity and doubt. One man scribbled notes nonstop, only pausing to stare at Diddy. The judge had told them, ignore the call, but how can you ignore something so real, so shocking, so raw? Cassie looked different too. She still seemed calm, but shaken. As the defense kept questioning, they hit hard. "You reached out to Mr. Jordan for comfort, correct?" Cassie answered. "Yes." Then came the next question. "Would you call that something someone truly scared would do?" "Objection," came the reply. "Sustained," said the judge, but the jury already heard it.